It's a new year! Welcome to the Blending with Henry Show, the #1 channel on YouTube for blender reviews and delicious blender recipes. To jumpstart the new year with healthy Vitamix recipes, let's talk about pears. Now, they are understated, often forgotten about when talking about fruit, yet they promote good health, rich in antioxidants, packed with fiber and vitamins, and you guys, they are just plain delicious. Now before we get started, one of my viewers and loyal customers, Jen L, just finished setting up her Vitamix Complete Kitchen with all the containers, including the stainless, the 8-ounce blending bowls, 20-ounce blending cups, air disc, dry container, and the food processor attachment. And she ordered her setup using the links on my website, blendingwithhenry.com. Now thanks Jen for your support, I definitely appreciate you. Now this mimics my recommended setup for the Vitamix Complete Kitchen. One Vitamix machine with all the accessories to easily create the best meals in your kitchen. Jen was also kind enough to share with me her recipe idea for warm pear soup. I was so excited just to make something with pears, so I'm going to show you guys how to make this easy and tasty recipe. Now, of course, it all starts with pears, okay? Now, we're going to poach the pears, so the first thing to do is peel the skins. Now next, you want to give the pears a thorough rain bath of lemon juice to prevent them from turning brown as you continue prepping your ingredients. And this is important, you guys, so the finished recipe has the original pear color. Later we'll be creating the poaching liquid, but first we have to prep our spices. Now on the left I have fresh cinnamon sticks, and to the right I have cardamom pods that have a eucalyptus aroma which is perfect for this recipe. Now we're going to quickly mill these to a fine powder using the Vitamix. To mill the cinnamon and cardamom, I'm using the Vitamix Ascent A3500 and the 8-ounce blending bowl. I'm blending on the highest speed for 1 minute. Now it's time to create the poaching liquid. Now this entire recipe will be on my website, you guys, and there will be a link under the video. So the first ingredient will be apple juice. Next is pure maple syrup. Now don't cheap out on me, you guys, okay? Don't be using no pancake syrup in here, okay? Now next is our cinnamon cardamom spices. Now you just want to give it a quick stir. Now are you checking out my monogram Henry spoon? Okay. Now over the holidays, you guys, I bought all new cookware. The likes of Le Creuset and Stove enamel cast iron. Really great stuff. Now you just want to place your pears into the poaching liquid. Don't worry about being too perfect trying to get them to stand up. Once the liquid boils, they'll all fall down anyway. Now, this recipe will be for 4 pears, but I'm poaching 7 of them. Some will be used later in the recipe and for garnish. Now you want to set your lid in place. Now if you're using cast iron, start with medium heat until it boils, then decrease the heat to the lowest setting. Now mainly the pears just don't need to boil, but rather simmer for 45 minutes. Here are our poached pears. Now let them cool down a bit before taking them out of the pot because they are very hot. Now you can see that the color is darkened a bit from soaking up the cinnamon, cardamom, maple syrup, and apple juice. Now here's how they look before poaching and now after poaching. And you guys, they smell great. To create the warm pear soup, we're using the Vitamix Ascent A3500 and the 48-ounce wet container. So we're starting with 4 of the poached pears roughly chopped. Next is 1/2 cup of the poaching liquid. Now we're adding pure maple syrup to sweeten it up a bit. Now a bit of kosher salt. Now this is chili lime salt. Now it goes fantastic on fruits and it adds just enough zing. Lastly, I'm adding coconut cream. Now you can choose to use a good quality flavorless yogurt as well, but since I make dairy-free recipes, I'm choosing coconut cream. Now we're ready to blend, starting on low and slowly ramping to the highest speed. Okay, so I'm removing the lid because we're not finished yet. I rough chopped another poached pear to add to the soup to make it chunky. Now we're just going to poach, you guys, and it's important to start on the lowest speed so you don't overprocess the added pear. Now increase the speed until it chops up the added pear to your liking. Since this soup has spices and other flavors, it's better to let the soup simmer on the stove before serving. Now this way the flavors will be well infused. Okay, you may use your favorite soup pot and pour in the pear soup. Stir it occasionally while it's heating. Now this is a great way to make your soup really hot. Now over blending in the Vitamix to make the soup hot incorporates too much air for this recipe. Put your lid in place and let it simmer on low to medium heat for 20 minutes. You'll thank yourself later, you guys, for doing this added step. Now this will be the difference between making a good soup and a great soup. Alright, the best part has arrived. Time to serve it up. Now firstly, I wish you guys could smell the aroma of the spices. And check out the texture of the soup. You can see chunks of the juicy poached pear. Now my favorite part of pears is the soft prickly bite. Now I'm going to speed this up. Give me a second. Now if you're going to serve this to a guest, a garnishing idea would be to slice an additional poached pear, caramelize it with a blowtorch, and lay it on top of the soup as you saw me do here. Now I'm drizzling some extra virgin olive oil on top. Now the olive oil adds a nice touch since this is more of a sweet and savory soup. Now I'm sprinkling more of the chili lime salt. I picked out this focaccia bread since in my opinion it's a perfect companion for this soup. Now you can dip the focaccia bread in the olive oil and sprinkle some salt on top, then dip it right in the soup. Now did I set up the scene okay for you guys? I hope so. Comforting warm pear soup. I discovered that the warm pear soup is perfect as a sauce topping for desserts. So let's start with some pound cake. Then I'm adding fresh blueberries. and some fresh raspberries. Then I'm pouring the pear sauce on top. Instead of making it chunky, you can have it smooth. Now pouring hot pear sauce on top of fresh fruit is epic, you guys. You're pouring fresh fruit sauce over fresh fruit. How bad can this be, right? Now I'm going to garnish with some cinnamon. And for color, some fresh mint leaves. Now you can omit the pound cake and have this as a healthy post-workout treat. Now your kids may prefer the addition of the pound cake, as well as it being some feel-good comfort food for yourself. It all starts from Pears and ends with a Vitamix. You've got to try it. Alright you guys, thank you so much for hanging out. And remember to use the link in the Show More section below the video to grab the recipe, as well as some options to order a Vitamix through blendingwithhenry.com. See you next time.